Graduates, you did it. I've been there. I'm honored to be here today. You're here today ready to accept your degree for a few reasons. You were self-motivated. Somebody encouraged you. SNHU presented a workable opportunity, and you did the work. This was all true for me too. I was recently reminded that my college story lives with me every day. And because in my role as a leader of a creativity organization, as a teacher, and as a mentor, it is my responsibility and privilege to motivate, encourage, and create opportunities for others to follow their dreams. All of those good things in my life were born of struggle. We brought my father home to die when he was 39 years old. After 6 months of headaches, my father collapsed at work. He was taken to the hospital and diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor. A nurse would stay with my father during the day, and my mom would take care of him at night after a full day of work at her nursing home. My brother Chris and I continued to go to school, to go to band practice, and to swim. Years later, I apologized to my mother for not being more helpful when Dad was sick. She looked at me, puzzled, and said, "Beth, you did the grocery shopping, you did the laundry, and you took out the garbage. I have no recollection of doing those things." 2 weeks before my father died, a friend took me out to be there for me. He raped me. I told no one. I could not bring that grief into my home. I could not make my father feel more helpless. I couldn't face the shame of telling it. My father died on March 2nd, 1985. It was his dying wish that I go to college. I didn't feel ready, and I wanted to take time off, but he was adamant. He missed his chance at college because he went right into the Army to serve in Vietnam. He then started a family when he got home, and I didn't want to let him down. I applied to and was accepted at Syracuse University. I had his encouragement and a workable opportunity at SU, but I didn't have the self-motivation. My grief, my shame, and my inexperience at college as a first-generation student made me a pretty unsuccessful student. After struggling with D's for a year and a half, my mother called to say we were out of money. I came home, the workable opportunity was over, I had not done the work, and I was not motivated. I got my old lifeguarding job back home, took 2 summer courses at UConn Hartford branch, got A's, and with my renewed confidence, I enrolled part-time at Central Connecticut State University. Between classes and lifeguarding, I would swim at CCSU. One day while I was swimming, the swim coach came out from his office. He watched me, and when I stopped for some water, he asked, "Can you swim butterfly?" "Sure," I said. "Will you swim a couple laps for me?" "Sure," I said. Did a quick 50 yards and stopped to look up at him, and he said, "Do you want to join the swim team?" I said, "I'm only a part-time student, I can't." He says, "That's no problem, we'll get you some scholarship money." And just like that, I was a walk-on to CCSU's Division I women's swim team. I swam all the grueling events, the 200 fly, the 400 IM, and the mile. In 1991, I came in 16th in Eastern Conference Championships in the 400 IM. You should know there were only 16 women racing, but I finished. The next season, we met with the athletic director to go over NCAA eligibility rules. I did the math and realized that since my eligibility started ticking away when I was at SU, even though I didn't swim there, I only had 1 semester of eligibility left. Now, it's pretty unlikely that the NCAA would have cracked down on a very small, not nationally ranked women's swim team, but I couldn't risk it for the team, so I quit. And without swimming, my motivation and opportunity, which was tied to my scholarship, ended, so I quit school again. I started bartending. I married a fellow bartender and got a second job as a nanny. After a few months of nannying for Elena, Karen, her mom, told me, "You have to go back to school. You're too smart, and I know you can finish." She told me about the adult program at Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut. I applied, I got accepted, I got scholarship money. Encouragement and opportunity let me start again. I started going to school part-time, then I blew my ACL in my left knee. I couldn't work on my feet in the bar anymore, so my husband started supporting me, and we decided it made sense for me to go to school full-time. I did, and then my marriage started to fail. After a year of trying, followed by escalating emotional abuse, I knew I had to leave. I had no money, no job, and I still hadn't completed my degree, but my motivation increased. School, however, had been going really well. I was doing the work. The first year seminar program made me an offer as an academic mentor, and mentors lived in the dorm with first-year students. When I realized I had to leave my marriage, I went to the office and asked if they had the room available for me still. And my boss said, "Do you need it?" And I replied, "I think I do." Though it felt like a huge step down to move from a 3-bedroom apartment into a 100-square-foot room, this also was an opportunity. So at age 31, I left my husband with only my clothes and my school books, and I moved into a first-year dormitory. I wouldn't quit again because I finally had it all: self-motivation, encouragement, opportunity, and I was doing the work. I had a full course load both semesters, wrote editorials for the school paper, wrote and edited the Trinity Feminist Journal, played flute in a trio and a quartet. I tutored at the Writing Center. My friends let me have extra meals off their meal plan, and the food service staff used to save extra sandwiches for me after luncheons. I wrote 2 award-winning papers, one about Prudence Crandall and the other about feminist spirituality. The former is now being produced as a play in Boston. At graduation, I was awarded the Ann Petrie Book Prize in American Studies, the D.G. Brinton Thompson Prize in U.S. History, the Samuel F. Thistleton Award for Civil Rights and Community Service, the Elma M. Martin Prize for Student Leadership, and the Tyler Award for Interdisciplinary Studies. I was inducted into the Phi Beta Kappa National Honor Society, earned a 3.2 cumulative GPA, and was 12th in my class. And I served as the Presidential Fellow representing Women's Studies Department. I also handled my own divorce. After graduation, I was offered a graduate fellowship and created a graduate tutoring program for Trinity College. I was approached by the writing department and asked to teach English 101. I went from nearly homeless adult student to adjunct faculty in less than 1 year. And I did that because of motivation, encouragement, opportunity, and by doing the work. The journey to my degree has taught me that I need myself. I need my support network. I need to seek and cultivate opportunity, and I need to show up and do the work. I also realize that if I have those things, even if I'm tired and broke and lost, I will find my way. I also learned that courage is not pretty. Courage is persevering through pain and doubt and loss. Courage has a runny nose and red eyes, and it goes out into the world anyway. You all came to SNHU because you had something to do, something you needed to finish, something to prove to yourself and to the world, and you did it. Stay motivated and keep doing the work, and I challenge you to motivate and create opportunities for others. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you today. Congratulations.